Any comments? Yeah, I think it's expected. I think it's expected that Trump has basically penetrated the barrier and lifted like one of the previous things. Like FIFA has always been an unbelievably corrupt institution. Donald Trump doesn't play by the old rules of corruption, which is to never be this in your face about it. Okay? Donald Trump has successfully he's penetrated the seal, the veil. He's broken the dam. And now you're going to see more and more countries that use the power that they have, the influence that they have, the money that they have to demand better treatment. Okay? And Infantino is perhaps the best person to do this with because he is. There's no way you think this is expected. I keep up with the news to a reasonable degree. My jaw dropped when I found out, and I didn't even watch football. No, I'm saying France's decision is expected. This demand is expected now that Trump did the unexpected. Okay? To be fair, what Trump did is new and unique. That was insane. You might have disagreements on whether or not Balogun whether or not the Balogun decision was appropriate for a red card or not is a totally separate conversation. Okay? What Trump did is unacceptable. Calling up as the host nation, as the most powerful nation on the planet, calling up the head of FIFA to be like, take this fucking suspension away. Because for those of you who don't know, when you receive a red card, I covered this yesterday, but I guess I'll cover it a little bit today as well. When you get a red card, there's a next game suspension for your player. Balogun obviously is one of the best strikers, if not the best striker, right? He's on the American team, U.S. men's national team, and he would have been. He is going to be an incredibly important player in the Belgium game that is leading off to the quarterfinals. The person who wins. The team that wins this game is going to head off into the quarterfinals. It's huge. It's a very important game. Okay? Belgium is a great team. Balogun received a red card in the game prior because he just straight up landed full feet on his opponent's ankle. It was one of the grossest things I've ever seen. Now, in the game initially, they didn't even call it, but they went back, looked at it in the VAR in slow motion, and realized that he had done that. Okay? Realized that he had done that. He received a red card as a consequence of that. And, it was a controversial red card. People thought that it was bullshit. People thought that it was too aggressive. There were obviously people criticizing FIFA because Lionel Messi had done something similar as well. But there are some differences. If you look at the Lionel Messi one, at least he pulls back, whereas Balogun leans completely in as a landing pad, utilizing the crunchy ankle of his opponent as the perfect landing pad. It absolutely is not controversial. It's a red 100%, no doubt, if you watch football. I know. I think so as well. But my perception of reality feels like it's breaking. Satire writers couldn't even write this. I mean, yeah. Let's just say Americans considered it to be a controversial decision. Okay? Bro, Argentina literally has FIFA in its pocket. What are you talking about? Dude. No one is contesting whether or not FIFA is a fucking corrupt institution. Okay? Everyone understands that. People will say Cristiano Ronaldo has gotten favorable treatment in the past. I know. Okay? I know. America is now officially a soccer nation. We might as well just call it football at this point because that's what football nations do. Okay? And we have a lot of other qualities, not dissimilar to other football nations as well, especially nations that are developing. Okay? We got a corrupt dictator-style tyrant, a petty despot in charge who does not shy away from engaging in unbelievably corrupt acts, both at the domestic level and now at the international scale. He's been doing stuff on the international level already, but this time with his hands-on approach to changing the outcome of FIFA decisions. Okay? That is what football nations do. The problem is America has a lot more clout at the international level than other football nations could do, potentially. So, Sepp Blatter did classy corruption, taking bribes for hosting rights, but never dirtied the sanctity of the game on the pitch. For that, he will always be a hero in my book. Yeah, red cards are not overturned by political phone calls. They are overturned by rules, evidence, and independent bodies. If a U.S. president intervenes in the FIFA president with the FIFA president and a player is suddenly cleared before a World Cup knockout match, the question unavoidable, quo vadis FIFA, football must never become a playground for political power. Hashtag FIFA, hashtag World Cup, hashtag Gianni Infantino, and hashtag Donald Trump. Like, let's be real. This is an unprecedented level of flagrant corruption. Straight up. FIFA is one of the worst and one of the most corrupt institutions on the planet. Okay, as far as like international bodies goes, FIFA might literally be the most perverse and the most corrupt. And for many decades, this has been the case. But of course, as is the case with everything else that's going on, its corruption has moved on. It's evolved. It's gotten more ridiculous. Okay, it's gotten more ridiculous. And Infantino was the was the bulwark, was the champion of this new level of corruption. He's certainly leveled it up. And this is yet another instance. Okay, this is yet another instance where the corruption has moved even further beyond. Sepp Blatter calling Infantino out is absolutely hilarious. Like Hitler criticizing himself in the mirror. I mean, the irony is is that because of the thing that I just mentioned, like where the situation is getting worse, like Infantino is unironically worse than Sepp Blatter. Blatter. Hitler versus Mussolini. In any case, today I feel like Donald Trump, is what he said. So now more appeals are coming from other countries. France has appealed to FIFA to request Michael Olivier's yellow card against Paraguay is rescinded. Increasingly feels like FIFA has lost control. FIFA have lost control over their World Cup here. I thought you were about to say Infantino is worse than Hitler. No. I'm not. I'm not that much of a LARPer. I just, know the memes. I know the metas. I'm not that into football. If I was, I would probably say that. I'm sure there are people who sincerely believe that. I'm sure there are people who have said that in the past. Okay? Can Iran appeal the gold that was stolen from them? Good. That's a funny joke. Thank you. Thank you for making the funny joke. If anything, the hurdles that Iran had to climb was also another aspect of this fucking corruption. And I called it out at the time. The shit that the Iranian team had to go through, whether it be the VAR decisions, whether it be their travel accommodations, like that is another byproduct of what Trump has done to the worldwide game, like the World Cup. The whole point of the fucking World Cup is that countries drop everything and engage in this beautiful sport together where everybody gets together and there's camaraderie, there's competition, and you put it all out on the fucking pitch. You leave it all out on the field. Donald Trump already started. Donald Trump already started by ruining that beautiful sport. What's interesting about the actions of the Trump administration is that there is a Hitler analog there, okay? And what's really interesting is Donald Trump is actually, on this issue and this issue alone, worse than Adolf Hitler. It's kind of crazy, but it's true. Like, he has no investment whatsoever in even the positive international benefits. No, literally, it's not even a joke. Adolf Hitler was, like, Nazi Germany was more open-minded, at least saw the benefits of, like, the international goodwill that they would receive from hosting a global event like this, and allowed people to enter the country. There was no restrictions on, like, referees and shit. You know what I mean? In spite of their very clear agenda of racism. It's insane. Brother, good luck. Fuck tomorrow on Fox News. Good luck tomorrow on Fox News. I don't think you guys are understanding the point I'm making. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is, like, fucking worse than Adolf Hitler. I'm saying on this issue and this issue alone, even the fucking Nazis understood that this would, be a propaganda opportunity for them. Okay? Donald Trump completely cast that aside and was like, nope. Like that, the Somali referee not being allowed into the country was so unacceptable. In any case, Marco Rubio, when he's told he has to referee the World Cup match between USA and Belgium, yeah. So, it's a strange time that we're in, where a lot of Americans probably will look to what Donald Trump did as, like, rank corruption, but they'll be like, well, it's for us, so maybe it's good. But if you care about the game, or if you care about, like the American team is incredible this year, right? It's outperforming expectations in many respects. Like, this is a real opportunity as a host nation. This is a real opportunity for America to have a long-lasting positive impact. And Donald Trump had to fucking go in and destroy that opportunity by leaving the game intact, right? Like, he had to go in and he had to molest it somehow. He's just such a fucking molester. Lester the molester ass motherfucker had to go in and cheapen it. He had to go in and do the Trump thing. He had to make sure that people had issues coming into the country. He had to make sure that, there was definitely a decent amount of racism involved in the decision-making process. And then he had to turn around and molest the game. Unfortunately, it turned Uncle Jank into a Trumper. Yeah, I don't play that game. I don't play the, we're the United States of America, baby, let's go. Like, we live on this planet with other people. We have to be more courteous to them. We have to keep certain things intact, okay? Disagreeing with the decision on the red card is one thing. Directly calling the president of FIFA and reversing the suspension is an entirely separate set of events. You can't do that. It's only going to cause more enmity. I don't like it.
Corruption.
Yeah, I mean, this is Jank and everybody else that saw this. Okay, and they said this.
It's not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
Yes.
But if I'm part of that corruption, I'll defend it.
Yeah. America's finally a football nation. It's time to drop the soccer moniker. It's time to call it football. We are officially a footy nation, though. Okay? Engaging in this level of fucking flagrant corruption for footy-related reasons is the most fucking football thing you can do. It's coming home, lads. It's coming home, lads. That's right. Football's coming home. And I'm not talking about England, brother. I'm talking about Alabama. Football is coming home. That's right. We don't even care about it. We got a different name for it. We call it soccer around these parts, but it's coming home to South Dakota. Football's coming home, brother. Roll Tide. War Eagle. Go Birds! And by that, I mean MLS. We're not talking about no goddamn NFL. We're talking about MLS. Or now, MLF. Major League Football. Yeah. No 3 lines on the crest. 3 Eagles, brother. Let me put you on game. It would be Alabama, not Alabama. Okay, true. Yeah, Birmingham, not Birmingham. Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah. American liberals have become so used to Trump that they think that they forget that the rest of the world still rightfully views these sorts of controversies as disqualifying of whatever he touches. Yeah. Belgium has a right to be mad, I guess, but it's also kind of funny how tilted they are. The United States has won one round of 16 game in its entire history. Play some soccer, boys. Yeah. I don't like this is the funniest part about it is that like we've completely capitulated to Donald Trump's madness, right? Here in the United States of America. But for the rest of the world's perspective, they looked at this and go, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? But it is really funny because, like, we obviously don't care. That's, like, at the heart of American exceptionalism. We don't care what other countries think. We do whatever the fuck we want. And there's nothing you can say about it. There's nothing you can do about it, right? And that's where we're at. Those are the rules now. Turkey levels of corruption, we're used to it by now. Yeah. I mean, the question always is what happens? Look, the question always is what happens if the Fourth Reich is a nuclear armed state that happens to be the most domineering force around the planet? What happens if the Turkification sets in the most powerful nation on the planet? That's not a good place to be. Okay? It's not a good place to be. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Okay? Because at least there was some level of parity in the pre-nuclearized world, right? Like before mutual assured destruction, before nuclear proliferation, there's some level of parity at least, right? There, you can muster up the forces and fight back. That's what World War II was about, right? What do you do when the most powerful nation on the planet has nuclear arms and decides to become just as corrupt and as ruthless and as tyrannical as countries of the past? What do you do? How do you fight back against that? And what is our responsibility as American citizens to move away from this attitude? It's important to think about these things, okay? Simply sitting around and hoping that China save us is insane. That's not how that works. Last point I'm going to make on football is Mbappe was a victim to racialized animus, this time from a senator in Paraguay. He responds, Madame Celeste Amarilla, you are a despicable woman and unworthy of your position. You do not represent Paraguay, that country which has sweated passion and honor through the competition. Through your recklessness and brazen racism, the entire world has already forgotten the journey and the historic effort that your players accomplished during this World Cup, making way for an incompetent woman who gives the worst possible image of her country. I will never allow people like her the freedom to spread their hatred and racism across the world. The dictator has spoken. Probably one of the first occasions when the corruption wasn't just we'll give you some money, and instead was we will ruin the rest of the tournament for everyone. Yeah, we will call in the question the integrity of the game, not the organization, but of the game. This is the type of shit that obviously people speculate about all the time, right? Like, this is what you say. Oh, it's scripted. Oh, powerful countries. Or powerful countries with big market teams, or big countries that have a lot of money want to make sure that their teams have staying power, because that means more purchases, that means more money for the overall organization. This is something that people fucking talk about all the time. And now Donald Trump has basically done away with the speculation, because he's done it. And not only did he did it, I can't even talk. Not only did he do it, he flexed on the world. He did it, and then he openly said he did it.
A stunning World Cup reversal in favor of the U.S. men's national team. Leading scorer Folarin Balogun ruled eligible to play for the United States in their round of 16 game against Belgium tonight. Balogun was sent off with a red card for this tackle early in the second half of the team's round of 32 win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. A red card means an automatic suspension for the following game. FIFA had confirmed that Balogun would be out against Belgium and that there was no way to appeal the ruling. Following the controversial call, Balogun saying the contact was unintentional and that he accepted the decision.
There was many emotions, but for me the most important thing was just trying to stay calm. I think I didn't want to react out of emotion, out of anger, and I had to just accept that the decision was made, whether I agreed with it or not.
But suddenly on Sunday, news that Balogun was in. ABC News sources confirming reports that President Trump had called FIFA President Gianni Infantino to review the matter.
He doesn't sound very American. Okay, calm down, everybody.
President Trump posting online Sunday, "Thank you to FIFA for doing what was right and reversing a great injustice." In justifying the about-face, FIFA citing Article 27 of its disciplinary code, saying the implementation of the match suspension is suspended for a probationary period of 1 year.
That's really funny, by the way. Yeah, like in a year we'll think about it, but like, oh, it's cool. You'll suspend him a year from now. Balogun should refuse to play. That's not going to happen. Don't be insane.
FIFA's not admitting they made a mistake. They're not admitting that the referee on the field made a mistake and gave the player a red card when it shouldn't have been a red card. The red card hasn't been rescinded. What's going on here is they're suspending the suspension.
The United States' next opponent issuing a statement. The Belgian Soccer Federation saying that it was astonished by FIFA's decision.
Dude, Jordan Henderson's arm break, I'm not going to watch it because it also destroyed my brain. But it was I'm sorry, that's sad, but also kind of funny. Like, dude, are you serious? Are you fucking serious? You jumped over the banner and you fell on your arm and you broke your fucking arm? How is that possible? Clean snap. I saw that shit. I don't want to watch it again.
Belgium's coach mocking the decision, saying, "I didn't know that at the World Cup, the 5th of July is actually the 1st of April. Upon learning the news, Balogun celebrating with his teammates.
We're really excited. He's been so good for us this tournament.
Overnight, U.S. team captain Tim Ream speaking to GMA.
I think he's just excited.
The Plattner story is fucked if it's true. Why do people know what the Plattner story is? What's going on? I'm so confused. Like, there's a lot of like vague posting on the timeline. Bad Empanada tweeted about it. What? Bad Empanada? Dog, what the fuck is happening? It was Gremlo talking about this morning. let's just, I don't know what happened. I have no idea what it is. And so I have no idea. It's a bunch of vague posting. I mean, there's a Politico drop that just came out from Adam Wren, who says that there's a sexual assault allegation now. We'll get to it. So maybe that's what people are talking about. I don't know. There are rumors that he sexually assaulted an Iraqi child while deployed. Yeah, that sounds. I saw, if it's coming from where I saw initially, there was some guy who was like former platoon guy who was like, that's a thing that happened. I don't know if that's real. You know what I mean? You don't report allegations like this without talking to the person making the allegation. You know the allegation reported, Ryan. The Platinum campaign canceled events over the weekend and has since canceled more. As word swirls among consultants, super PACs, and lawmakers, a very damaging allegation is coming as early as this afternoon. At what point is there just smear fatigue? I mean, I don't know. Is it a smear or is it real? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Again, ironically enough, there are a lot of liberals. Ironically enough, there are a lot of liberals on the timeline who yesterday were saying Abdul al-Sayed is bad because he hangs out with Hassan. Graham Plattner is good because he doesn't hang out with Hassan. And there's truth to that. I have no connection to the Plattner campaign. I have no idea what they're up to. I have no understanding of what has taken place thus far. So the liberals might have actually unironically locked themselves into a weird bind. But we don't know. We don't have any information. What I do know is what I've seen thus far. And what I've seen thus far has been, great exaggerations. This might be real, though, right? This might be totally real. This might be totally valid. But in this circumstance, the Graham Plattner situation, yeah, this was the ridiculous one. This was the ridiculous one. This is, yeah, dude. This is that is totally ridiculous. Oh, they would go into like an Iraqi home or something, and yeah, that seems like a Israeli disinfo campaign that isn't that doesn't have any legs whatsoever. You know what I mean? But if there's a more serious accusation, we'll look at it. If he does drop out, could another Democrat run? I think it's literally the reason why they're doing it. The reason why this push is coming right now, the timing of it, whether it's real, whether it's because I don't know anything yet. Yeah, for context, that guy's previous claim to fame is pushing that Biden admin was trafficking kids from Ukraine. I know. That guy's insane. I'm not saying that allegation is insane. That one is bullshit. Politico has dropped something. We'll take a look at it. But the timing of it is somewhat interesting because the dropout date for Graham Plattner is July 13th, I believe, right? So if Graham Plattner drops out before July 13th, they could just hand select another candidate. They could hand select another candidate and put another candidate in his stead. 15th is reporting for funding. And I do find it very odd. Now, it could very well be an instance where people were, like some Democratic consultants knew about it and they were, waiting to see if they should drop this at all, given that it's a damning accusation, right? So we'll read it, we'll look into it, and far better investigative reporters than, my commentary ass will identify the veracity of the claims. Having said that, Let's finish this Balogun thing, and then we'll get to it.
That he can actually contribute on the field and not just be a cheerleader. But he's got a big smile, and he's been beaming ear to ear, since we all found out the news.
And the European Football Association, of which Belgium is a member, put out a statement this morning saying, part in quote, "We express our disbelief at such an unprecedented, incomprehensible, and unjustifiable decision." And for their part, U.S. Soccer saying, quote, "We accept the decision of the disciplinary committee, and we are pleased that Folarin Balogun is eligible to compete tomorrow." This has happened once before in 1962. A Brazilian player named Garrincha was reinstated. But this is really, like, we haven't really seen this before.
Yeah,
1962.
suspending the suspension.
Exactly.
All right, Will, thank you.
He's playing.
It's also crazy because Trump literally earlier today came out,
Mr. President,
and very publicly took ownership over it. Okay. So there's no element of secrecy here. There's no like people don't know if this is real or not. Or what am I saying? People know that this is real. Like, this is something that Trump did. Okay. And it's insane that he is he's openly flaunting it. Okay. I'm sorry. This is not normal. Okay. Remember when I said there is no country on the planet where the leadership is this out and about with their corruption? Like, I'm Turkish. Okay. I'm Turkish. I'm a Turkish man. I've seen Erdogan. I've seen what he has done. Oh, by the way, Turkey is at the table again. Ankara is at the table. Ankara is the table. There's a NATO summit happening in Turkey. Trump is going to it. We'll get to that in a little bit. But what I was going to say about Turkey is Erdogan is an unbelievably corrupt tyrant. Okay. So is Vladimir Putin, right? He oversees this kleptocracy. But there is a level of discretion that these tin pot dictators and petty tyrants engage in, where there is money exchanging hands, and it filters to their family members, but they don't do it so they don't do it so openly, so flagrantly. Donald Trump has done away with that, where what's unique about it is he doesn't even feel the need to hide his corruption. He doesn't feel the need to hide his corruption at all. And I find that so strange because, look, as Americans, we fancy ourselves to be real revolutionaries, carrying on the spirit of 1776. But it's not a secret that in most circumstances, we're very servile. Let's be real. We've taken a lot of pain and a lot of punishment and a lot of inconsistency, inequality, a lot of injustice, and we find ways to adapt to it. We find ways to say this is normal. This is normal. It's fine. No alternative is good. The alternatives are terrifying and far worse, right? I'm not talking about Donald Trump openly abusing FIFA right now. I'm talking about something beyond that. I'm talking specifically about his open corruption with his cryptocurrency fund, with his insider trading. It is very interesting to see how the rest of the world views what Trump is doing versus how Americans view it, where they're like, this is our molester. But at least this time, I thought your analysis was much more careful when Biden was president. Does it make your job harder? Like, you can only do so much analysis when everything is so blatant and out in the open? Wait, what? No, I mean, there is probably a lot easier for me to explain it to people because it's undeniable. He just says it like it is, good or bad. Like, there is a continuation of American imperialism, for example, from the Biden administration, and Trump 1 to Biden to Trump 2, a continuation that existed between George W. Bush to Barack Obama before Trump 1. It was a lot harder to explain certain concepts to Americans in the rest of the world back then because There was an element of discretion. There was an element of propaganda. There was an element of decorum that sheltered people from seeing the truth. That's gone. Donald Trump just says it. He'll be like, I'm going to Venezuela because I want the oil. I'm going to suck the oil out of the world. Okay? That's why I'm doing it. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm doing a blockade on Cuba because I want to punish the Cuban people because their economy is bad. Okay? That is unique. That is new, right? Guys, I'm going to talk about Graham Plattner in a second, okay? It just dropped. It just dropped a minute ago. Please, we'll go through it. Can I just finish my thought? Jesus Christ. Everyone is like, dude, you have to fucking get it on the Graham Plattner shit right now. I will. Be still. Feed the baby now. Goo goo gaga. Baby need new information. Baby need breaking news. Holy shit. Anyway, this level of ownership, this level of taking ownership over the flagrant corruption is not going to be received positively by the rest of the world, I think. And it shouldn't.
And I want to congratulate you on your historic leadership.
I gotta pee.
The document hanging on that wall just turned 250 years old, as did the nation that it created. And the bell that you just rang on the Resolute desk, I believe heralds in that the next 250 years will be even greater than the first 250.
You mean the bell that I'm not giving back?
I am not giving back. I think everyone knew you were going to keep the bell. And on behalf of all Americans, thank you for getting rid of that ridiculous red card. This is his. That was interesting. It was spectacular. There was a reason the FIFA trophy sat here for as long as it did.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.
Yeah, please.
I wanted to ask you, can you describe your phone call with Gianni Infantino about the red card? And Belgium is appealing the decision. What's your reaction?
You're asking me about the whole soccer thing? So, yeah, I did. I spoke to Gianni, who's highly respected, who's produced the most successful World Cup in history by, they say, 4 times. This isn't just a success. I actually said, Gianni, we've got all these games. Each one is turning out to be a Super Bowl. And we have all these games. You know, when you think of it, every game is like a Super Bowl. Yes, I watched last night. What a game that was with Mexico and England. I mean, 2 countries, I don't know the players, although I think Kane is a great player. See, I played golf with him, and I like him a lot. He's a good golfer. But he's really great. But I watched, and no reason for me to watch, and you couldn't take your eyes off the game. Because I said, Johnny, you know, you have all these games because they added games. In a country where really we don't, it's not our main sport, to put it mildly.
He's a great golfer.
4 times more successful. He told me last night the numbers are 4 times greater. They think 50 or 60 million people are going to be watching the game.
Yeah, when it's trans women in sports, it's unfair. When it's a boss call for a favor, it's all good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Integrity.
Game tonight. I mean, you know, this is getting to be Super Bowl numbers. But you have a game tonight, and they think they're projecting a minimum of 50 million people watching a game. We call it soccer. It's called football, I guess, but we can't really call it football because it gets there's a little confusion. So, yeah, you call it soccer. We're the only ones that do that, but we have football. And football's great. But I've never seen anything like it. So I saw the play, and I'm a person that loves sports and was a good athlete. And I understand sports really well, really well. And that wasn't a foul. That wasn't even an infraction. That was two guys running full speed that happened to crash into each other. You can't take your foot and properly place it on somebody else's foot when you're going, no, these were two great athletes that got tangled up. And this referee, who is a little bit suspect.
Hamas! The referee was Hamas. Did you see the Platter allegations? They're fucking bad. No, I haven't seen them yet. I'm currently covering the Donald Trump molesting international football. No, I know. Oh my God, Michael from Pennsylvania. Yes, I have it right here. I have it. We're gonna get to it in a second. Once we're done with this story.
If you check his past, I don't want to say that because I don't like to create controversy.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You love creating controversy. What do you mean? He's I don't like to just create controversy, but very checkered past. They're saying the referee was Joe Biden. I'll say it. Joe Biden was the referee of this beautiful sport. Biden appointee.
But very suspect. If you'd like, I'll provide you with the past. He made a call that nobody could believe. You know, even people on the other side, they say, oh, we got lucky. Wow, and it's very interesting. They say they don't show them in slow motion. And I never realized that. I never heard of that before. That they're not allowed to review in slow motion because it's so different. Because you'll take one little quarter of a second and you'll see that a hand is touching a neck or you see something. Whereas when you see it in fast motion, it will look like two guys collided, which is really what happened. They got sort of entangled. He didn't do anything wrong, and he's our best player or one of our best players, a very vital player. And he gave him a red card. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't think it meant much. Then I started hearing that means he can't play in the next game, at least in the next game. I said, boy, that's a big, if it happened to...
Dude, has this ever happened? Like, it's kind of... Dude, this is literally like shit that you read in history books. I know the stakes are technically lower because it's like, okay, at the end of the day, we're talking about a soccer game, right? But like, this is straight up like a king. This is what you read in history books about how a king would be like, well, I don't like the outcome of this jousting event, so I declare the victor someone else. Like literally, that's... No, 1962 is not a decent comparison because like you're talking about money being exchanged in private. The difference here is Trump is going on the main stage and saying like, yeah, I made a fucking call. What are you going to do about it? Do you see what I mean? This is literally like a Roman dictator coming out and just being like, you know what? I've decided you didn't win. The gladiator didn't win. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not the corruption that is unique, even though the type of corruption is unique. But what's also unique is the public nature of it, where he is not just being corrupt, but he's also celebrating it. He's flaunting it. You know what I mean? Very, very strange.
Another player, it would have been unfair, but when they take your best player or just about, they have some great players, and they say you can't play, that's very unfair. That's, it's one thing to penalize somebody for the game, but how do you penalize them for a game that hasn't been played yet? It's very unfair. You can't do that. So, yes, I asked for a review by FIFA. I spoke to a man who's highly respected, and by the way, whose level of respect has gone up tenfold And he was good before this started. But, you know, he really pushed it in this country. I'm the one that got them to do it. It was not Biden. Biden was asleep. I got him to do it. In fact, it was very sad because I got him to do it. And if the progression was normal, I would have been retired now. The Democrats are saying, man, we should have just let him have his way. We would have had him gone. But I said, you know, the saddest thing is I got the Olympics and I got the World Cup.
Biden would have never made the call. He doesn't even know. He's got a rotary phone. Doesn't have Infantino's phone number like I do.
I tried to claim 250 years too, but that didn't work. They said, that one is what it is. No, I tried, but it didn't work. But wait. So I got him. I was so proud of it. And then I realized that, you know, I wouldn't be president during that because I would have been out of office by that time. I felt badly. The beautiful thing about what I did is I ran. I never thought of it. And then all of a sudden I realized, you know, I just got the Olympics, and I totally got that myself. And I just got FIFA. I got that myself. We gave a little piece to Canada, gave a little piece to Mexico. I got that myself. And a lot of people helped, like that man right there, Kevin. A lot of people, you know that. We worked hard on that, and we got it. But what we didn't know is how successful it was going to be. I didn't know. I said, Johnny, is anyone going to show up? Because, you know, we're not really. I think soccer's doing much better, but I couldn't imagine if you would have said to any very smart of these, like people.
Guys, stop looking at Michael Dell's wife. Okay, just avoid looking at her. Okay, yes, I see it. I get it. Okay, I know. Just avoid eye contact, please.
Like this, that the numbers they're doing now would be happening. They've never seen anything like it. Think of it. Take the most successful Olympics or the most successful FIFA, and you look at what's happened. You look at the numbers for this in the United States, just compared to FIFA, and it's numerous times more. It's not like 10% more, 2% more, 5% more, which is more expected. It's like 4 times more successful than anything they've ever done. In fact.
Okay. All right. I think we've covered this enough. I've given enough thought and opinion on this. It's totally ridiculous. It's understandable that people are frustrated by it. Marco Rubio then came out and said it was a bad decision. Like, I don't like this at all. I don't like that we're basically ruining we're basically ruining the integrity of a game that already has been tarnished. Its reputation has already been fucking destroyed because of Infantino in new and unpredictable ways. Who knows what will happen? But at least in the past, the corruption was about certain countries being able to host FIFA games, right? This level of direct involvement has this level of direct involvement and the open nature of this direct involvement has, I don't think, ever happened before. And it's not a good look. I don't know what else to say. People will say I hate America or whatever, and I should just like suck it up. But I do think that this kind of like American exceptionalism is a big part of the problem, right? It's a big part of the problem. It's annoying. It's annoying for the rest of the world. It's time to talk about